I think into year end, a lot of the drivers that have caused the re-rating of the Asian equity markets are pretty much done. We still have reasonable earnings growth, so that may push the markets a little higher. But overall, I think the key driver between now and the end of the year will be whether the major funds decide to start taking some profit or not before the end of the year.
And when we talk about the question of taking profits, we think of the strong tech gainers here in Asia. It's been a strong run-up for some of the big names here. What is your view on the sector?
My view on the tech sector, obviously, it's got great long-term structural growth, but my view at this point would be that it's very widely owned. The profitability of all of the major tech names is falling because they're investing in other businesses that are not as good as their own business. You look at Alibaba, for example. They've had massive investments. And also, I think, just generally, large tech is increasingly vulnerable to regulation.
And when we talk about your overall asset allocation here, I understand you're rather neutral on equities, but how are you taking on a somewhat of a defensive approach in your portfolio, as you suggest?
Sure. So within an asset allocation framework, we're actually underweight equities now. We're overweight bonds. It's difficult to know what to be overweight, actually. Right. But within the actual within the Hong Kong equity market, the way that we've shifted to a more balanced portfolio is we've gone underweight tech and balanced that with an overweight in the financials. They're both huge sectors here in Hong Kong. And we've bumped up the weighting of consumer staples and also of telcos, which are very unloved at the moment.
You say it's difficult to know where to go overweight, but other investors I've spoken to say we're still in this sweet spot for global growth. As you point out, earnings have been strong. So what is discouraging to you? Okay.
For me, it's not so much that I think we're about to, run into a major implosion. It's just that I don't see much more room for good news in the sense that we have a stronger dollar now. A stronger dollar normally works against financial conditions in Asia. So the earnings cycle is definitely peaking. So growth can't get any stronger. We have, I think if you read the financial media over the last 2 weeks, you'll see the word Goldilocks economy. Every economy in the world has been described as in a kind of a Goldilocks state. So when things can't get much better,
that worries you.
Normally they get worse.